Welcome back to the deep dive. I want you to start today by picturing a map, but not a geographical map. I want you to picture a map of the universe as we usually see it in mythology.
Okay.
Normally, when we do these deep dives into the ancient world, whether it's the Greeks with Mount Olympus or, the Norse with Asgard, the map looks kind of like a kingdom.
Right. It's a stage, there's a court, there are different realms.
Exactly. You've got a king on a throne, you've got some distinct territories, maybe a chaotic ocean at the edges. It's a habitat. It's a place where things live, love, fight, and will eat.
And in those systems, the universe is often treated like a playground for the divine. The gods are bickering, having affairs, drinking mead. The stakes are usually personal or political. It's a divine soap opera, in a way.
A playground. That's the perfect word.
Yes.
But the stack of research you've brought in today,
Yeah.
this feels completely different. I've been reading through this material on Persian mythology, specifically the cosmic architecture of Zoroastrianism, and I can't shake this feeling that I'm not looking at a map of a kingdom. I'm looking at a blueprint. And not just any blueprint. It looks like the schematics for a machine, or maybe a weapon.
That is a very, very sharp distinction to make right off the bat. And you're not wrong. If you look at the source material we're covering today, texts like the Bundahishn, which translates to something like primal creation, it doesn't describe a world created for leisure.
No.
Or even just for the glory of a creator. It describes a world created for containment.
It's a trap.
It is literally a cosmic trap.
That is the headline for this deep dive. We are looking at the cosmic architecture of Mazdaism, and the core premise is that reality itself, the ground we're walking on, the time ticking on our watches, was engineered for one specific purpose: to catch a predator.
And that reframes the human experience entirely. Because if the universe is a trap, then we aren't just residents or bystanders, we are part of the mechanism.
We're the bait.
We are the bait, and we are the spring-loaded bars of the cage. Every choice we make either reinforces the cage or helps the predator try to break out.
Which is a heavy burden for a Tuesday morning, but it's also incredibly compelling. We are going to unpack this entire machine today. We're going to cover everything from the creation of time itself, which, spoiler alert, has an expiration date, to a river of molten metal that flows at the end of the world.
It's an incredible story, and to really get it, you have to understand that this was one of the most profound theological revolutions in history. It took a chaotic, almost messy pantheon and reconfigured it into this structured, ethical cosmos.
So to understand the building, we have to look at the foundation. We have to understand who built it and why. Where does this story actually begin?
We need to transport ourselves back to the 2nd millennium BCE. We are on the Eastern Iranian plateau. So this is, modern-day Iran, Afghanistan, that whole region. This is the Bronze Age.
So paint the picture for us.
Yeah.
What does this world look like?
Picture vast, windswept steppes, big skies, harsh winters and scorching summers. This is a world of pastoral societies, herdsmen, charioteers, people on the move.
Not a lot of big cities yet.
No, not at all. It's the crossroads of the great Indo-Iranian migrations. The ancestors of the Persians and the Vedic Indians are living here, and at this point, they share a common religious heritage. They have a lot of the same gods, the same rituals.
Okay, so before the trap was built, what did their religion look like? What was the before state?
It was a complex polytheistic marketplace, very transactional. They worshipped nature. You had gods for the sun, the wind, the contract, the water. And they categorized these spiritual beings into two main groups. You had the Ahuras, or Asuras in Sanskrit, who are these remote, ethical lords, gods of order.
Okay, so the serious ones.
The serious ones. And then you had the Daivas.
And the Daivas were the nature spirits.
Yes, but specifically, they were often the aggressive, chaotic ones. These were the gods of the raid, of the storm, of the adrenaline rush you get in battle. They were the gods you bribed with sacrifices so they wouldn't kill your cattle or destroy your village.
So it's a religion of appeasement, in a way.
Very much so. You feed the gods, they don't crush you. It's a protection racket, almost. And into this chaotic, transactional world stepped a man named Zarathustra.
Zarathustra Spitama, or Zoroaster, as the Greeks called him.
Right. He's a priest, a Zautar, but he is deeply unsatisfied with the status quo. He looks around at the violence of the cattle raids, the ritual slaughter, the drug-fueled ceremonies, likely using the plant Hauma in a way he found excessive, and he has a revelation.
The vision.
The vision. He has a vision on the banks of a river that changes everything. He sees a being of pure light, Vohumana, the good mind, who leads him into the presence of the one true God.
And this revelation isn't just, hey, let's add another god to the list. It's a complete restructuring of reality.
It is arguably the first true theological revolution in human history. Zarathustra comes back from that vision and says, "We have been getting it wrong. There are not many gods fighting for our attention. There is only one uncreated creator, Ahura Mazda."
The Lord Wisdom.
Yes, Ahura Mazda. But here is the pivot that changes the world. Zarathustra takes those old nature gods, the Daivas, and he doesn't just ignore them, he criminalizes them. He redefines them.
He says these aren't gods.
He says, these beings exist, but they are not gods, they are devas, which is the linguistic root of our word devils, or demons. He looked at the gods of his ancestors and said, these are actually agents of deceit. They made a choice to be malicious.
That is a massive power move. It's an act of rebellion against the established order.
It is. He's saying they chose chaos. They chose the lie. And this is where we get the name of the faith, Mazdayasna, the worship of wisdom. It posits that the universe is locked in a binary conflict. It is the first time we see such a strict, uncompromising moral dualism.
Yeah, I think we need to distinguish that a bit, because there's an evolution here, right? The early stuff, the Gathic dualism, is different from what came later.
The very important distinction in Zarathustra's own hymns, the Gathas, Ahura Mazda, is kind of above the conflict. The battle is between his two twin spirits who emanate from him.
But later on,
Later, in the Pahlavi texts from the Sasanian Empire, it becomes a much starker dualism. It's Ormazd, that's the later name for Ahura Mazda, versus Ahriman, his co-eternal independent enemy. Two uncreated powers, locked in a struggle from the beginning.
let's drill down on this dualism, because I think it's easy for modern listeners to misunderstand. When we hear good versus evil, we tend to think of, say, a cartoon angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other.
Right, or yin and yang, balance.
Exactly. Or maybe we think of the Force in Star Wars, a light side and a dark side, both necessary for balance.
And that is exactly what this is not. That is the crucial misunderstanding. In Zoroastrianism, evil is not necessary. It is not the shadow cast by the light. It is not a teaching tool. It is a hostile invasion. It's a mistake.
So they aren't two sides of the same coin.
No. There are two different coins entirely, trying to occupy the same space. On one side, you have Ahura Mazda, or Ormazd. He is endless light. He is omniscience, all-knowing, all-good. He is the agent of Asha.
Asha. That's a key term in the notes. It translates to truth, right? But it's more than that.
It's so much more. Truth, but also cosmic order, right working. The fundamental principle of reality. When the seasons change on time, that is Asha. When the planets move in their orbits, that is Asha. When a society is just and charitable, that is Asha. It's the way things ought to be. It's health.
The divine blueprint. And the opponent.
The opponent is Angra Mainyu, later called Ahriman, the destructive spirit. He dwells in the abyss of endless darkness, and his defining characteristic is Drudge, the lie.
Now, when we say the lie, are we talking about telling a fib? Like, no, I didn't eat the last cookie.
Think bigger. Think ontological. Drudge is ontological falsehood. It's a distortion of reality itself. If Usha is a healthy body functioning perfectly, Drudge is a cancer.
That's a great analogy.
A cancer isn't a rival organ. It's a corruption of healthy tissue. It twists the biological instructions to serve itself, but ultimately it destroys its host and itself.
Yeah.
That is what Ahriman does. He doesn't create. He corrupts. He mocks creation. He makes thorns for roses, poison for water. He is a parasite on reality.
This brings up a fascinating philosophical point from the source material regarding the primordial choice. These two spirits, they weren't born into these roles. They weren't fated to be good or evil.
This is the nuance, especially in the early texts. In the Gathas, the hymns attributed to Zarathustra himself, it speaks of twin spirits who met before time began. And they were presented with a choice. It was a free choice.
And one chose life, one chose not life.
Exactly. Spenta Mainyu, the Holy Spirit, chose Asha. He chose to align with existence, with creation, with making things. And the other one, Angra Mainyu, possessed what the texts call backward understanding.
Backward understanding. I love that phrase. It implies that evil is essentially stupid. It's a failure of logic.
Or incompetent. It implies that evil is a failure of wisdom. It's choosing short-term destruction over long-term existence because you can't see the consequences. And because Ahriman chose the lie, he became the lie.
So he can't comprehend truth.
He literally cannot. In the later texts, it says Ahriman cannot know the future because the future is a product of wisdom and order, and he lacks it entirely. Ormuzd knows everything that has happened and will happen. Ahriman only knows what's happening now, and he's driven by pure reactive envy.
So we have a genius architect against a blind, thrashing vandal.
That's a perfect way to put it. And the architect, Ahura Mazda, knows that the vandal is out there in the dark. He knows a conflict is inevitable. So he decides to control the terms of the engagement. He designs the timeline.
The 12,000-year cycle. This is the blueprint of the trap we talked about at the beginning.
Correct. Unlike the Hindu or Buddhist conceptions of time, which are often cyclic wheels within wheels, endless reincarnation, universes breathing in and out Zoroastrian time is linear.
Straight line.
It is a straight line. It has a start, a middle, and an absolute definite end. It is a drama in 4 acts, each lasting 3,000 years.
Let's walk through these acts, because this is the history of the universe according to the Magi. Act 1, the spiritual creation.
Or Melanog. Monog means mental or spiritual. In this first 3,000-year epoch, Ahura Mazda creates the prototypes of everything that will ever exist. He designs the sky, water, earth, plants, animals, man, but they're in a suspended state.
So they exist as ideas.
Perfect ideas. They have no weight, they don't move, they're invisible and intangible.
Like a CAD file on a computer before you 3D print it. The perfect, uncorrupted design.
Perfect analogy. They exist as pure information. Perfect, uncorrupted, and static. Meanwhile, Ahriman is in the abyss. He doesn't even know Ahura Mazda exists because he's in the dark. But eventually he wanders to the boundary of the void, and he sees a ray of light.
And like a moth to a flame, or a predator to a scent.
He attacks it. His nature is envy and aggression. He tries to destroy the light, but he realizes he is outmatched by its purity and power, so he retreats back into the darkness to build an army. He fabricates the Diva's demons of greed, wrath, sloth, winter, disease. He prepares for war.
So the sides are drafted. Now we move to Act 2, the material creation, or Gedig. And this is where the strategy comes in. Ahura Mazda makes a deal. Why does he talk to the demon? Why not just build a wall?
Because Ahura Mazda, with his omniscience, knows that if they fight in the spiritual realm, the war could last forever. Spirits are hard to pin down, they're elusive. He needs to force Ahriman into a physical confrontation where he can be contained and defeated.
So he needs a battlefield of his own choosing.
Exactly. So he approaches Ahriman and offers a treaty, a pact. Let us fight for 9,000 years within a finite space and time.
And Ahriman, being arrogant and having that backward understanding, takes the bet.
He thinks he can win. He sees a chance to finally destroy the light he envies. He accepts, and the moment he accepts, Ahura Mazda recites the Ahuna Varya.
The holy prayer.
This is the holiest prayer in Zoroastrianism. It's a sonic weapon. It summarizes the ultimate victory of good. The revelation of this ultimate truth is so powerful, so blindingly true, that it literally stuns Ahriman. He falls back into the abyss, unconscious.
He knocked him out with a prayer.
For 3,000 years.
That's a serious head start. So while the villain is in a coma, the architect gets to work building the cage.
He initiates the Gedig state. He gives his spiritual creations mass and density. He builds the physical universe. And the text describes this architecture beautifully, almost like a manual.
Let's hear it. What's the first thing he builds?
First, the sky. The sky is described as a hard, spherical shell made of rock crystal or shining metal that encloses the world like an egg. It's a defensive perimeter.
A fortress wall.
Inside that shell, he puts water about halfway up. On the water, he places the earth, which is initially a flat, round dish. It's perfectly stable.
A pristine, static terrarium.
And in the center of the earth, he places the 3 prototypes of life. The unique plant, the unique bull, and the first man, Geomard, who is described as bright as the sun.
So he sets the stage, and he builds it knowing it's going to be attacked.
He builds it to be attacked. That's the key. The material world is the cage. The bait is the goodness within it. He knows Ahriman cannot resist spoiling it.
So Act 3 begins. The alarm clock rings. Ahriman wakes up.
It's actually his demons who try to wake him up. They scream, "Rise, Father, we will destroy the world of light." But he's groggy. He's terrified from the prayer he heard. Nothing works.
Until a specific demoness steps forward.
Yes. The demoness Jen, known as the Whore, the primal seductress, whispers to him. She promises him that she can afflict the good creation with suffering, with lust and menstruation and pain. She promises to make life miserable. And that thought, that perks him up. He's so pleased he kisses her. And the defilement of menstruation appears in the world.
Motivated by pure sadism.
Yeah,
Charming.
emboldened, Ahriman rushes the sky. The text says he pierced the sky like a snake boring through the shell of the egg. He invades the pristine world, and this is the moment called the Assault. Gumisish, the age of mixture.
And this is total devastation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is where the world as we know it actually comes from.
Yeah.
All the imperfections.
Everything we consider natural hardships comes from this moment. Ahriman darkens the sun at noon. He mixes smoke and soot into the pure fire. He salts the pure waters to make oceans, leaving only some rivers fresh.
And the earth.
He shakes the earth, cracking that flat dish and creating mountains and valleys. He creates deserts and wastelands. He attacks the unique plant, covering it with thorns and poison.
And he kills the bull and the man.
He attacks Geomard and the bull with disease and pain. They die, and Ahriman thinks, I have won, I broke his toys. But he forgot who he was playing against.
The trap springs.
Two things happen. First, the sky closes up behind him. The Fravashis, the guardian spirits, patch the hole. He is now locked inside the crystal shell. He can't get back to the endless darkness. He is trapped in the Getig.
He's locked in here with us. He can't escape.
He can't. But secondly, Ahura Mazda had contingency plans. The happy accident, as the texts call it. When the unique bull died, its marrow poured onto the earth, and from it sprouted all the species of healing plants and beneficial animals. Its seed was carried to the moon and purified, creating the breeding pairs of all good animals.
And from Geomar, the first man.
When Geomar died, his seed was purified by the sun for 40 years and fell into the earth. And this is the part that always gets me. It grew into a rhubarb plant.
A rhubarb plant. Not an oak tree, a rhubarb plant.
A rivas plant, yes. A stalk with two distinct but joined leaves. Those leaves slowly took human form and separated, becoming Masha and Mashiana, the first human couple.
So the destruction actually fueled the proliferation of life. Ahriman tried to subtract from the world, but he ended up multiplying it.
Exactly. He's an idiot. His plan backfired. And now the war is on. We are in the age of mixture, or Gumitsishin. This is the time we're living in right now. The good creation and the evil corruption are swirled together like oil and water in a jar.
That explains the complexity of the world. Why we have beautiful roses that have thorns, why we have loving dogs and venomous snakes. It's a mixed bag. It's not a mistake. It's a feature of the current age of warfare.
It explains why bad things happen to good people. In this worldview, it's not God testing you. It's not part of a mysterious plan. It's because there is an active, hostile force trying to hurt you. There's a demon of disease, a demon of poverty.
That's a huge psychological shift from, say, later monotheisms where God is in control of everything. Here, God is not in total control of the present moment. He's fighting for it.
He is the commander-in-chief, but the enemy is occupying territory. And to fight this war, Ahura Mazda has an army. The hierarchy of the divine in Zoroastrianism is incredibly bureaucratic and organized.
The army of light. Let's meet the staff. At the top, obviously, is Ahura Mazda, dwelling in Garathman, the House of Song. But he has these lieutenants, the Ameshaspentas.
The bountiful immortals. There are 6 of them, or 7 if you count Ahura Mazda himself as their leader. They are like archangels, but they're more than that. They are personifications of virtues and guardians of physical creations.
This is what I found so cool. They aren't just guys with wings. They're guardians of specific elements of physics and biology.
Correct. So you have Vohumana, the good mind. He is the personification of good thought, but he is also the protector of cattle and all beneficent animals. So if you take care of a cow, you are ritually serving the good mind.
Then there's Ashavahishta.
Best truth, the spirit of order, and he protects fire. Fire is seen as the purest physical manifestation of Asha.
And Shashatravarya.
Desirable dominion, divine power. He protects the sky and all metals and minerals. Then you have Spenta Armighty, holy devotion. She's a feminine spirit representing piety and faith, and she protects the earth itself. She's the ground beneath your feet.
The last two are a pair, right?
The twins, Harvatat and Amaritat, wholeness and immortality, they represent health and eternal life, and they protect water and plants, respectively.
I want to pause on this because the implication is huge. If the archangels are the protectors of the environment, then pollution isn't just dirty, it's an act of war, it's blasphemy.
Precisely. You cannot be a spiritual person in this framework and dump trash in a river. That river is the body of Harvatat. To pollute it is to aid Ahriman directly. It makes environmental stewardship a core religious duty, thousands of years before the modern green movement.
So we have the generals, the Ameshaspentas, who are the foot soldiers, the Yazatas.
The Yazatas, or adorable ones, or ones worthy of worship. These are the active deities who interact with humans. There are dozens of them, but some of them are absolute heavy hitters.
We have to start with Mithra.
You have to. Mithra is huge. He's the lord of contracts, of covenants, of the given word. In a society based on oral promises, the contract is sacred. Mithra has 1,000 ears and 10,000 eyes. He sees every deal made, even in the dark.
He's also a warrior god,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. He rides a chariot across the sky before the sun, clearing the path of demons with his silver spear and golden mace. He is the judge of the soul. If you break your word, you are a Mithra drug, a lie to Mithra. And he will smash you. There's no escaping him.
Then you have someone like Anahita.
Ardvisura Anahita, the goddess of the world river. She is the source of all the waters of the world. She drives a chariot pulled by 4 horses, wind, rain, cloud, and sleet. She purifies the seed of men and the wombs of women. She's a goddess of fertility and strength.
And I love the story of Tishtria.
Tishtria, the star Sirius. The mythology around him is pure cinema. He is the bringer of rain. Every year he goes to the cosmic ocean, the Vorakasha Sea, to collect water for the clouds. But there he meets the demon Apaosha.
The demon of drought.
And they fight as horses. Tishtria transforms into a beautiful white stallion with golden ears. Apaosha becomes a terrifying mangy black horse with a bald tail. They wrestle in the waves for 3 days and 3 nights.
And Tishtria loses the first round, which is a surprising detail.
He does. It's a key part of the myth. He retreats, weeping to Ahura Mazda, saying, "Men did not offer me enough prayers. They didn't make the right sacrifices. I am weak."
So our actions have a direct impact on the power of the gods.
Directly. So Ahura Mazda offers him a sacrifice himself, which is an interesting idea, and it boosts his power. Tishtria goes back, defeats the black horse, and the waters are released to the world as rain. It shows that the gods need us as much as we need them. Our prayers are their fuel.
We're not passive observers. We're the battery pack for the good guys.
Exactly. And there are so many others. Pharaosha, the ear of God who protects us at night. Varathrana, the genius of victory, who has 10 different incarnations, including a mighty boar, a beautiful youth, and a swift wind.
But looking across the battlefield, we have to look at the enemy team. Because Ahriman didn't just break things, he created a counter-creation, a pandemonium of darkness.
For every good, he made a negative counter. For every archangel, there's an archdemon. Yes. For Vohumana, good mind, there is Akamana, evil mind. This is the demon of bad choices, of vile thoughts, who tries to turn humanity away from righteousness. For Asha, truth, there is Indar.
Indar. Now, I highlighted this in my notes. That sounds a lot like Indra, the king of the gods in Hinduism.
It is Indra, and this is the ancient shade we talked about earlier. When the Indo-Iranians split, the Iranians took the favorite god of the Indians, Indra, the brash, heroic warrior, and turned him into a demon. It's a fascinating bit of theological rivalry.
What does Indar do in the Zoroastrian system?
In Zoroastrianism, Indar is the demon who freezes your mind. He makes you hesitate. He creates sloth and apostasy. He stops you from putting on your sacred belt, the kisti, and doing your duty. He's the voice of doubt and inaction.
It's like a theological diss track that's lasted 3,000 years.
It really is. And you see it with another god, Sarva, who is likely the Hindu Shiva, turned into a demon of oppression. And then you have the monsters, the field commanders of evil, Ashma.
The demon of wrath. Asmodeus in later Jewish tradition.
The very same. He is the commander of the assault. He wields a bloody mace. He inspires violence, drunkenness, and cruelty. He is one of the few demons with a direct, violent physical presence in the world.
And then there's Bushasta. I feel like I meet her every morning.
The long-handed? The demon of sloth. She doesn't attack you with a sword. She attacks you with a pillow. She has long yellow hands, and in the morning she creeps up and whispers, "Sleep long, oh man, there is no rush. It's not worth getting up." She tries to make you miss the sunrise prayer. She represents the failure of will.
It's so relatable. Evil isn't always a dragon. Sometimes it's just staying in bed when you know you should get up and work.
But sometimes it is a dragon. We have to talk about Azidahaka, or Zahak, in the later Persian epics.
This is the ultimate boss monster, the big bad.
In the mythology, and later in the epic Shahnameh, Zahak is a human prince who is corrupted. He makes a pact with Ahriman, who is disguised as a wonderful cook. Ahriman kisses Zahak's shoulders in praise, and from that spot, 2 black snakes grow out.
And you can't cut them off.
If you cut them, they just grow back. And they are hungry, they have to be fed, and they require human brains. 2 young men have to be slaughtered every day to feed the snakes on the king's shoulders.
That is visceral horror. It represents a regime that literally consumes the minds of its youth to sustain itself. It's such a powerful image.
A very potent metaphor for tyranny. Zahak rules for 1,000 years, a millennium of darkness over the world.
But he is eventually defeated, right? By a hero named Feridun.
Feridun, the great hero, rises up and defeats him with a cow-headed mace. But, and this is a crucial detail, as he is about to kill Zahak, an angel appears and warns him not to.
Why? You have the dragon at your mercy. Why not finish it?
Because Zahak's body has become a vessel for evil. He is so full of noxious creatures, scorpions, toads, snakes, all the bad things, that if you cut his body open, they would spill out and infest the entire world. The pollution would be unstoppable.
So killing him would make things worse.
Much worse. So Feridun binds him. He chains him with magical fetters inside Mount Demavan, the highest peak in Iran.
He's on ice.
Ha!
Waiting for the end of the world.
Precisely. He is the anti-hero reserved for the apocalypse. He's chained up, but the legend says you can still hear his cries from within the mountain.
You mentioned noxious creatures there. This is a concept that I think is unique to Zoroastrianism, Krofstra.
Krofstra. This is biological dualism. In our modern view, a mosquito is just part of the food chain. It's annoying, but it has a right to exist. In Zoroastrianism, absolutely not.
It's an error code. It's a piece of malware.
It is a physical manifestation of Ahriman's malice. Ahriman, in his assault, created flies, ants, mosquitoes, snakes, scorpions, worms, frogs. These creatures do not belong in the good creation. They are weaponry designed to spread disease and filth.
So, if I kill a cockroach,
You are performing a high religious act. It is a redemptive deed. The priests in ancient times used to carry snake killers, little maces, just for this purpose. Killing a Krofstra is as pious as prayer because it reduces the amount of evil in the cosmos. It's pest control as a holy duty.
that is a wild mindset shift. It turns gardening and cleaning your house into a holy war.
It does. It aligns the physical act of cleaning and weeding with the spiritual act of purifying the soul. Everything is connected. This brings us to some of the great human heroes and legends of this world, because humanity isn't just a victim in this war.
We have champions. Let's start with Yima, or Jamshid, the Golden Age king.
Yima ruled for centuries. In his time, there was no death, no disease, no old age. It was a perfect era. But Ahura Mazda warns him that a terrible winter is coming, a great ice age that will wipe out all life.
So this is their version of the Great Flood myth.
It is, but with a fascinating difference. Unlike Noah, Yima isn't told to build a boat. He's told to build a vara,
An underground bunker.
an underground multi-level bunker.
Yeah.
And he's not told to save breeding pairs of animals. He's instructed to save the seeds of the best of every living thing. The seeds of the best men and women, the best plants, the best animals. It's a story about preserving genetic potential, not just surviving. It's engineering over a miracle.
But Yima falls from grace.
He does. Hubris. After his great success, he claims that he is the creator of the world. At that moment, the Farena, the royal glory that signifies divine right to rule, leaves him. It's depicted as a bird flying away.
And without that divine protection?
He's vulnerable. He's eventually captured by the tyrant Zahak and Sanan too. A tragic end for a great king.
Then we get to maybe the most famous of all Iranian heroes, Rostam. He's like the Hercules of Iran.
Absolutely. The stories of Rostam come from a later period, from the Shahnameh, but they capture this spirit. His own birth is a miracle tied to a mythical creature.
His father, Zal, was born with white hair.
Yes, and his own father, the king, was horrified. He thought the child was a demon and had him abandoned on a mountain. But he's found and raised by the Simurgh,
The giant magical bird.
a wise ancient bird that knows all the secrets of the world. When Zal grows up and is reunited with his people, the Simurgh gives him a feather. She says, "If you are ever in trouble, burn this and I will come."
And he needs it when his son, Rostam, is being born.
He does. His wife is in impossible labor. Both she and the child are dying. Zal burns the feather, the Simurgh appears, and she gives them instructions for a C-section.
A cesarean section.
Yep.
From a mythical bird.
She tells them to anesthetize the mother with wine, make an incision, and deliver the child. The world's first surgical birth, taught by a giant magical bird to save the greatest hero of Iran. It's just an amazing story.
These stories show that you have divine help, but you still have to do the work. The Simurgh doesn't magically teleport the baby out. She teaches them surgery.
Exactly. It's always a partnership. And that partnership, that need for human action, is reflected in the rituals and the purity laws that define daily life.
Right. If you believe you are in a war zone, You need discipline. You need purity. The Vendidad, which is the Book of Laws, is intense. It's mostly about how to keep the corruption of Ahriman away from the holy creations.
And the number one holy creation that needs protecting is fire.
Attar. Fire is the visible presence of God on earth.
The son of Ahura Mazda. So you never, ever pollute a fire. You don't blow on it with your breath, which is why priests wear a mask, the padan. You don't throw garbage in it. It is sacred.
Yeah.
And the temple fires are treated like kings.
The grades of fire, this is fascinating. The highest grade, the Atash Baram.
The fire of victory. Consecrating one is an immense undertaking. It takes over a year. You have to gather fire from 16 different sources.
Like what?
Fire from a baker's oven, a potter's kiln, a blacksmith's forge, but also fire from a funeral pyre, and even fire from a lightning strike.
You have to catch lightning.
You have to find a tree struck by lightning and take that fire. All these fires are then ritually purified and combined into one superfire, which is then enthroned in the temple and never allowed to go out. Some have been burning for over 1,500 years.
And then there's Haroma, the sacred plant.
Likely a species of ephedra. This was a central ritual. The priests pound the halma stalks in a mortar. And this act isn't just making a drink, it's symbolic. Pounding the plant represents destroying the demons, smashing the head of Ahriman.
And the juice is consumed.
As a sacrament to give vision and strength. It's a way of partaking in the vitality of the good creation. But the biggest focus of the purity laws is dealing with the most dangerous source of corruption.
Death.
Because death is Ahriman's masterwork.
Ahura Mazda created life.
Yeah.
Ahriman introduced death.
Exactly. Therefore, a corpse is not just a dead body, it is an anchor point for the forces of darkness. As soon as the breath leaves the body, the corpse demon, Drajinasu, rushes in from the north in the form of a fly and possesses the flesh.
So the body is now a biohazard, a spiritual biohazard.
Highly contagious. If you touch it, you are polluted. If a dog sees it, the dog is polluted. It's a huge source of drooge. This creates a logistical problem. You have a dead body. You can't bury it because the earth is the body of the archangel Spenta Almighty.
You'd be defiling a god.
You can't burn it because fire is the holy son of God. You can't throw it in the river because water is holy.
You're running out of options.
So you use the sky and the sun. You build a dakma, a tower of silence.
These are those cylindrical structures you see on hilltops, particularly around Yazd in Iran.
Yes. You carry the body to the tower. There are special corpse bearers who do this. You place the body inside, naked, on a stone platform, exposed to the sun and the birds.
The vultures.
The vultures, who are considered beneficial creatures, strip the flesh very quickly in a matter of hours. The sun bleaches the bones. The corruption is removed by nature without polluting the sacred elements of earth or fire. The bones are then swept into a central pit to turn to dust.
It's gruesome to our modern sensibilities, but within their logic, it's incredibly respectful of the environment. It's the ultimate form of recycling.
It is the most ecological funeral practice imaginable. It leaves zero footprint.
But while the body's being picked clean, what is the soul doing? This is where the afterlife journey begins.
The soul, the Irvin, is said to linger near the head of the body for 3 nights. It is anxious. It's reviewing its life, chanting the gathas. On the dawn of the 4th day, a wind blows.
And the quality of the wind depends on your life.
If you were good, it's a sweet-scented wind from the south. If you were bad, it smells like the most foul, rotting flesh blowing from the north, the direction of the demons.
And in that wind, you see a figure approaching. This is one of those beautiful images in the faith. You meet your Darina, your conscience, your inner self, made manifest.
But externalized. If you lived a righteous life, if you told the truth, gave charity, worked hard, she appears as a beautiful, radiant maiden of 15, and the soul asks, "Who are you? More beautiful than any I have ever seen." And she says, "I am you. I am your good thoughts, your good words, and your good deeds. You have made me beautiful."
That gives me chills. You are literally building your afterlife companion with your daily choices.
But if you were wicked, you meet a hag, decrepit, naked, smelly, terrifying. And she says, "I am your bad thoughts. I am your greed. I am your cruelty. You made me this way."
You have to face the ugly reality of who you became. There's no hiding.
None. And then, together with your beautiful maiden or your hideous hag, you face the bridge. The Chinvat Bridge, the bridge of the separator.
This spans the abyss from the peak of a cosmic mountain to the gates of heaven.
And guarding it is Rashnu, the angel of justice, holding golden scales.
And the text emphasizes, the scales do not tip for money. They don't tip for power. They can't be bribed.
He favors not the lord over the peasant. It is pure, dispassionate math. They weigh your good deeds against your bad deeds. If the good outweighs the bad, even by the weight of a single eyelash, you are saved.
And the bridge reacts to the verdict.
For the righteous soul, the bridge becomes broad, 9 spears wide, a pleasant path. You walk across easily with your beautiful Dana into the Gerothman, the house of song, heaven.
But for the wicked.
The bridge turns on its side, it becomes as thin as a razor's edge, and as you try to cross, you fall screaming into the abyss.
Into the Dozak, the house of lies, hell.
The description is horrifying. It is cold, it is dark, so dark you can hold it in your hand. It stinks. And it is crowded, yet every soul feels completely alone. And you are forced to eat noxious food, rotten things, bodily fluids, the fruits of your own evil deeds.
But there is a third option, a middle ground, for the person who's just average.
Hamastagan, the place of the mixed. Suppose your good deeds and bad deeds are exactly equal. The scales are perfectly balanced. You don't go to heaven, but you don't deserve hell. So you go to Hamastagan.
What's it like?
It's a place where there is no joy, but no pain. You experience only heat and cold as the seasons change. You just wait.
It's the cosmic waiting room. Purgatory.
Waiting for the end of time. Because remember, this is a linear story. Hell is not eternal. Hamastagan is not eternal. They are holding cells. The war has an expiration date.
Before we get to the end, though, I want to touch on a secret chapter of this history. The notes mention the Zervanite heresy. Because if you think about it, the standard story has a plot hole, or at least a philosophical problem.
A logical gap. If Ormazd and Ahriman are both uncreated and co-eternal, then Ormazd isn't really omnipotent. He has a rival he didn't make and can't instantly destroy. He's limited.
And for some theologians, especially under later empires trying to unify things, that wasn't good enough. They wanted a single source for everything.
So they invented or perhaps rediscovered an older idea of Zervan, infinite time. They posited that before the twins, there was only time. Zervan existed alone in the void. He wanted a son to create the universe. So he performed sacrifices for 1,000 years.
But he had a moment of doubt.
Towards the end, he thought, is this working? Will I really get a son? Am I wasting my time? That single moment of doubt was a seed. The sacrifice created the good son, Ormazd, but the doubt created the evil one, Ahriman. They grew as twins in the womb of time.
And Ahriman, being the tricky, destructive one, realizes what's happening.
He knows Zervan has promised the kingdom to the firstborn, so Ahriman rips the womb open. He forces his way out prematurely. He presents himself to Zervan, but he is dark, hairy, and stinking of death.
And Zervan is like, you are not my son. He rejects him.
He says, my son is light and fragrant. Then Ormazd is born, beautiful and radiant. But Zervan is bound by his vow. He has to give the crown to the firstborn, so he makes a deal. Ahriman, you shall rule for 9,000 years, but Ormazd shall have the ultimate victory and rule for eternity after that.
That wraps it up neatly. It explains why the world is currently a mess. It's the devil's turn, but guarantees that God wins in the end. It solves the problem of evil, in a way.
It was a very popular solution for centuries, especially in the royal courts, though eventually Orthodox Zoroastrians rejected it because it made God a created being and implied evil came from the same source as good. But it gives us that fascinating 9,000-year contract framework we see in the main texts.
Okay, let's fast forward. The 9,000-year contract runs out. The 12,000th year arrives. The traps are full. It's time for the Frasha Kareti.
The making excellent, the renovation of the universe, the final act.
It starts with a savior. And this part sounds very familiar to Western ears.
The Sashyant, the benefactor. He's born of a virgin.
A virgin bathing in a lake.
Yes, Lake Kasoya. The legend says Zarathustra's seed was preserved in the waters of this lake, watched over by 99,999 guardian spirits, the Fervashis. A young girl, a virgin, bathes there, becomes pregnant, and gives birth to the final savior.
And his first job is a big one. He raises the dead.
He initiates the general resurrection. Everyone who has ever lived, good and bad, rises from the earth. The bones are reassembled. The spirits rejoin their reconstituted bodies. Families are reunited. Everyone is judged one last time.
And the final battle kicks off. The Avengers assemble.
It's a total melee. The dragon Zahak finally breaks his chains from the mountain and rampages across the world. The ancient hero Karesaspa is resurrected specifically to kill him. Sarosha wrestles the demon of wrath. Ahura Mazda and the archangels descend to the physical world.
And they finally deal with Ahriman.
They drive the darkness out. They literally grab Ahriman and the last of his demons and shove them out of the hole he broke in the sky, casting them back into the void, which is then sealed forever.
The universe is cleansed of the invaders. But the people still have to be purified. And this is the most metal part of the entire mythology. Literally metal.
The molten metal. The text says that the mountains, which were created by Arban's corruption, will melt under the heat of a comet striking the earth. They will liquefy into a river of burning metal that flows across the face of the world.
And we have to walk through it. Everyone.
Everyone. The righteous from heaven, the wicked from hell, the lukewarm from Hamastagan. Everyone must wade through the river of magma.
This sounds terrifying. The ultimate ordeal?
It is, but the experience is subjective based on your moral state. To the righteous person, the one who lived by Arsha, the molten metal feels like warm milk. It is soothing. A warm bath. It passes right through them.
But to the wicked?
It burns. It is agony. But, and this is the critical distinction between Zoroastrianism and many other hellfire traditions, it does not burn forever. It's not punishment for its own sake.
It's not infinite torture.
No. It is purgatorial. The fire burns away the druge. It burns away the corruption, the sin, the lie that is caked onto their soul. It physically cauterizes the evil out of the person. The pain lasts as long as the corruption lasts. For some, a few moments. For others, 3 days.
So you endure the pain and then you're clean.
You are clean. The metal then flows down into hell, filling the stench-filled pit, purifying it, and sealing the hole to the abyss forever. The earth becomes flat again, perfectly level, a great plain.
And the people, all of humanity.
All of humanity is united. The wicked, now purified, join the righteous. They receive a drink of a special hama that makes them immortal. They become of one mind. They no longer need food. They cast no shadows. They speak a single language. They live in eternal bliss in a physical body on a perfect earth with God walking among them.
Universal salvation. In the end, everybody makes it.
Yes. In the end, Armin wins nothing. He gets 0 souls. He is left alone in the void, powerless and unconscious forever. The trap worked. It captured evil, separated it from the good, and destroyed its effects. The universe is renovated.
That is a surprisingly and profoundly optimistic ending for a story that focuses so much on war and demons and corruption.
It is relentlessly optimistic. It posits that evil is not a permanent feature of existence. It's a mistake. It's a disease, a temporary glitch that can be fixed. And it will be fixed. There is an absolute guarantee of victory.
So bringing this back to us, sitting here in the age of mixture, what is the legacy of this way of thinking? Beyond the obvious, we could see the influence on Judaism, Christianity, Islam, the devil, the savior, the resurrection, the final judgment, the apocalypse. That DNA is all here.
It is the bedrock of Western eschatology, no question. But I think the most powerful legacy is in the ethic. It's the call to active participation.
Good thoughts, good words, good deeds.
Humata, hukta, havashta. It sounds simple, like a nice slogan you'd see on a poster. But in this cosmic architecture, it's a tactical manual.
Because if the world is a battlefield, then a good thought isn't just a nice feeling. It's not passive. It's a weapon.
Exactly. When you choose to think a generous thought instead of an envious one, you are pushing back the demon of evil mind. When you tell the truth, you are striking a blow against the druge. When you give to charity, you are repairing the fortress of Ahura Mazda. You are not a spectator waiting for God to save you.
You are a soldier in the trenches.
You are God's helper, his hamkar. The faith confers a tremendous amount of dignity and responsibility onto the individual. You matter. Your smallest actions matter on a cosmic scale.
And conversely, when you lie, or when you are lazy, or when you pollute the earth,
you are aiding the enemy. You are physically making the universe worse, delaying the final victory. It's a heavyweight, but it also gives profound meaning to everyday life.
I think that's the takeaway. In a modern world where we often feel small, or like nothing I do changes anything, this mythology grabs you by the shoulders and says, no. You are the front line. The choice you make right now matters forever.
You are essential to the victory of light. Your role is not optional.
So here's a final thought for you listening. In a world full of moral gray areas, what would it change for you if you viewed every single thought in your head not as a fleeting impulse, but as a bullet fired in a war for reality itself? Would you aim differently?
A profound question to live with.
We'll leave you with that. And hey, maybe think twice before you. Well, actually, according to this, definitely kill the spiders and the ants.
If it's a craftstra, a noxious creature, show no mercy. It's a meritorious act.
Consider it a prayer.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. Make sure you subscribe for the next one.